So you're saying the man who translated the Bible beheaded his own mother?
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's see it.
King James I, the man behind the King James Bible, had his mother Mary, Queen of Scots, locked up and then executed, allegedly.
Mary was first imprisoned in Scotland when James was 13 months old, and although she escaped soon after and fled down to England because she thought Elizabeth would help her, she was soon imprisoned by Elizabeth while James was still an infant. And the biggest problem was that Mary was a Catholic monarch, and there were a lot of English Catholics who thought that Mary was the legitimate heir to the throne that Elizabeth held. And so most of the power struggle was between Catholics and Protestants. And it would be around 18 and a half years later that Mary would finally be executed because she was convicted of a plot to assassinate Elizabeth. There are absolutely no data whatsoever that suggest James had anything to do with executing Mary, Queen of Scots. He didn't do much to try to save her beyond just asking Elizabeth not to execute her, but there are absolutely no data that suggest he had anything to do with her execution.
He worked with his aunt, Queen Elizabeth I, to make it happen. Why? So he could secure his place as King of England.
In addition to the fact that there are no data that link James to Mary's execution, I can find no data that suggest the intent was to secure James's place on the throne. He would not become King of England until 15 years after the execution of Mary, when Elizabeth passed away without having a child, which left him as the next heir.
That's not exactly the kind of story you'd expect from someone tied to the Bible, is it?
Have you ever read the Bible?
But it doesn't stop there. James had a thing for demonology. He wasn't just curious about it, he wrote an entire book, Demonology, all about witches, demons, and their nasty tricks.
I can't tell if this video thinks that King James was a fan of witchcraft and demonology, or if this video is condemning King James for the persecution of others that resulted from his book, which was a condemnation of witchcraft and demonology.
And this is the same guy who decided, hey, I should translate the Bible for everyone.
King James did not come up with the idea to translate the KJV. He simply approved the request that was made by John Reynolds at the Hampton Court Conference.
And then there's his personal life. Rumors say he had questionable relationships with men, including his cousin.
Well, he most likely had homosexual relationships.
And he wasn't exactly known for being morally upright. Yet this is the man people trust for one of the most influential versions of the Bible.
While I'm no KJV stan, the notion that King James's personal life has anything whatsoever to do with the quality of the translation is profoundly ignorant.
Do you see the problem here?
I see someone trying very poorly to make it sound like there's a problem here.
Now let's talk about the translation itself.
Oh, excellent. I would love to talk about the translation of the KJV.
King James didn't write the Bible, but he commissioned it to solve political and religious problems in his kingdom. It wasn't just about faith, it was about control. He needed a version of the Bible that supported his rule and brought peace to a divided nation. That's the agenda nobody talks about.
On the contrary, people talk about this crap all the time, but this has nothing to do with the translation itself, and this is a very disappointing video. But the fit for this video has been Miles Morales.